Hi everyone, it's Ardith. Thanks for stopping by. Today I have a card for the current Muse Card Club using products from Agillian Vance Design. I started by blending a panel of purple, using 2 shades of Catherine Pooler ink and a blending brush. I put Flirty Fuchsia all over, and then I got out the Flower Burst cover plate so I could see how much Grape Crush to add. I wanted the panel darker around the edges, but brightening up toward the center of the flower. If you wait to the end of the video, I'll show you how I clean these blender brushes. It's really easy. I ran the purple panel through my die cutting machine with the cover plate, and I laid it on another panel of white cardstock so I could see where to blend more ink. This time I used warm yellows and oranges. I started with Sauna in a big circle and I let it fade out toward the edges. Then I put some Mandarin spice down and finally Samba right in the center. Then I took that panel to my die cutting machine. I kept all the petals in the die so it would be easier for me to inlay them into the purple panel. I got a white card base and coated the front with glue tape. I find this is the easiest way to inlay dies. The glue provides a sticky place for the petals to go, and I didn't need to put glue on each one individually. I laid the purple panel onto the card base and made sure it was all stuck down. Then I got the yellow panel that was still in the die, and I pulled out the negative portion. A couple of petals popped out, so I used a jewel picker to pick them up and place them in. You can see why I wanted to keep them in the die. Each one of these petals looks kind of the same, and even once I found the right spot for it, it could go into its spot one way or the other. I could have spent hours and hours trying to figure this puzzle out. So for me, it was much easier to lay the full die over the purple panel and poke the petals out of the die using a craft pick. I did a few at a time and then lifted the die to make sure things were progressing smoothly. Sometimes the petals just needed to be shifted slightly to really be in the proper spot. For my sentiment, I used the thinnest sentiment strip die and a Happy Thanksgiving from Best of Fall. I went back and forth on what color to stamp it with because I usually use black for sentiments, but I decided to be daring and I stamped it with Grape Crush using my Mini Misty. Hey, sometimes you gotta take a risk, right? I trimmed down the sentiment strip and cut an angle on one end, and then I cut some foam tape with an angle as well. I had to trim the foam tape to make it slightly narrower, and then I realized I had cut the tape too short for the strip. To make sure that each end of the strip was supported, I cut the tape in half and put each piece near the end. This means only a small portion of the middle of the strip was not supported by foam tape. I love vibrant colors, but at this point my brain was screaming for some white on this card, so I got out my white gel pen. Sometimes these pens are tricky, but I find if I get it going on my skin and then use very, very light pressure, I have more success with my white accents. I put a couple of dots on each petal, and then my brain cooled down. Okay, just before I go, here's how I've been cleaning my blending brushes. Rubbing them on paper towel gets off a lot of the ink. But when I know I'm finished with them for the day, I rub them on a baby wipe. This gets even more ink out, and then I just leave them to dry until I need them again. Now back to the card. It's finished, and the vibrant use of complementary colors will work perfectly for the Muse Challenge. And I managed to make a second card by fussy cutting the yellow panel and placing it on a white card base with a simple thanks sentiment. I hope you enjoyed this video. Shopping links are below and on Jillian's blog. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.